granules that that stay in the muscle, and that's actually a very interesting one. That's a fun one to diagnose because that affects the muscles of the forearm much more. And someone may come in complaining about weakness, but the nice thing is they can't bend the distal part of their digits. So that's like really a fun one to diagnose. But myopathies come in all ways. Myopathies can come from poisonings. Alcohol can give you a myopathy. Basically, there are other myopathies. They're inflammatory myopathies, and that's to some extent in my associate's realm. But once again, we rely on blood tests to help us, because when there's a myopathy, when there's a real disease of the muscle, what do we get? We get leakage of the enzymes from the muscle into your serum, into your blood. So once again, we stick a needle in you, take a little blood, and what do we look for? We look for the most common enzymes in the muscles. We look for CPK and we look for aldolase to see whether they're elevated. If they're not elevated, it's very unlikely you have a myopathy unless you're end stage and have had it for the last 20 or 30 years. Now, one other thing I wanted to say about myopathy, I got sidetracked on. Let's see. Oh, this is what I wanted to say about myopathy. Myopathy, we're bringing this up in a conversation when we're talking about fatigue. But what's the number one complaint someone with a myopathy has? Either pain or weakness, primarily weakness. So once again, it's not really fatigue they complain about, they complain that they're weak. And most myopathies are what we call proximal myopathies. And that means they affect the muscles that are closer to your body than the muscles further out. And several drugs can cause that. The medicine they use for polymyalgia rheumatica and the medicine they use if you have COPD and you have a lot of inflammatory problems, it's a wonderful medicine. The corticosteroids, prednisones and agents like that can give us what we call a proximal myopathy, and that's actually fairly common. So I just wanted to mention that. So when if you're on steroids and you have